All right, well, here we are out on 20th and Harrison in the Mission District, and we thought we'd spend the next 10 or so minutes with you out on the streets of San Francisco. And we also thought we would highlight some of the good things that have been going on, not just here in the Mission specifically, but all over the city. And what better person to highlight this week than Leah Sham of the San Francisco Bicycle Coalition, who has been front and center in leading our efforts to really provide a framework that arguably is world-class in the context of our bike plan here in San Francisco, which finally, Leah, is taking shape.
It's finally taking shape.
Give us a sense of what's going on. What's the update?
It's amazing. In the last 3 years, the number of people biking in San Francisco has increased more than 50%. It's unlike any other big city in the country.
Now, and this is important. Over the last 3 years, we've had an injunction against our ability to expand the bike network. So how do you see a 50+% increase when we haven't even done any real work?
Right. Even with no new changes on the street, no improvements, we're seeing more people ride. And I think you know the growing awareness around sustainability, around health, and I think all that the city is doing to really encourage people to think about sustainable transportation and healthy transportation. People are really doing it.
So now finally we have a partial lift of the injunction, and as a consequence, we've been working very hard, right? The DPW and others, Department of Public Works have been out there, Metropolitan Transportation Agency, and what have they been doing?
Yeah,
what
I'm
kind
really
of work?
Impressed with the city. I have to say, just since Thanksgiving, and we're very thankful, since Thanksgiving, they've put in more than 175 bike racks in the city.
This is a bike rack.
This is it.
We all know what a bike rack looks like.
Bike rack.
But this is a new bike rack.
It's really exciting.
And 175 of these have gone in?
In just a couple months.
That's great.
They've put in 9 new bike lanes, 9 of the 10 that they're able to do, so really fast work. They've added more than 350 sharrows on the street.
Okay, I love telling people about sharrows, but what are sharrows?
And the sharrows are the markings you see on the street that really remind people, hey, drivers and bicyclists share the road.
Right.
Drivers really be watching out for bicyclists because this is a popular bike route.
Now, we were one of the first cities to do these sharrows, right?
We were the first city, yeah.
That's great. So we've got to get through this next phase, right, in July?
We think June, July, and then the city is poised to really implement, gosh, more than 50 bike lane projects.
Amazing. And
hundreds more racks. Right. I should say the MTA, the Municipal Transportation Agency, has committed to put in another 600 bike racks just by the end of the year alone.
So what do you now? Here we are, we're standing right here in front of a great restaurant, Flour+Water, and Leah, we just happen to have, surprise, surprise, the chef owner, Thomas McGotten. Thank you very much for coming out.
Absolutely.
Now, I imagine you got to be enthusiastic about having a bike ride out here, or are you one of those business owners who said, what are you doing? Why'd you put this out without my permission?
I can stop yelling at the employees for taking all their bikes through the restaurant. Now they can leave them outside the restaurant. But I think with small businesses, sustainability goes beyond food, and that's with the chemicals that we use to clean the kitchen with, whether we're supporting small bicycle racks that can come in, our employees, our guests can bike, it'll save parking for the neighborhood, clutter. So,
and how many? What do you estimate? Because I've heard some statistics from how many of your customers.
It's mostly smoke and mirrors, but I'd say we do 7 days a week. We do upwards of 180 people a night.
And how many of those are driving to your business?
It was part of our business plan, right at the very beginning that we put it in. We're going to have a bicycle delivery service or some kind of connect in with the San Francisco Biking Coalition, to make it a more sustainable restaurant.
So you went out and did you contact the Bike Coalition?
We did, yeah. It was actually, it wasn't just me, it was all my employees pushing us to find a bike rack.
That's great. And so who'd you call? Did you call Leah, or did you call someone in our office, or did you call the city and say, I want a bike rack?
I believe we called Leah.
And then you called the city?
We bugged the city, and it happened. It happened fast. And I'll tell you, the Small Business Administration put out a message to all its members, and we got dozens and dozens of requests from that too. So tons of small businesses want the racks all over the city.
That's great. And who's, if you want to, I mean, not everyone needs to call you directly, but if you wanted to put a bike rack in front of your business, who's the best person to call?
311, as all good calls.
311.
Easy call.
Fantastic.
And let me say, it's important to note it's free. This bike rack is free. The city will come out, survey the site, make sure it fits, like it does here for Flour+Water. It's a great spot. I bike by here all the time, and there are bikes everywhere. They're locked to everything, so we really need these racks, but it's free.
So I love what you're saying. So as part of your business model, having a bike rack and sustainability is a big part of it.
My partner, David Steele, partner in the restaurant, is really into bicycling, and it was very important to him right from the outset that we had that kind of intertwined somehow with our business model here.
That's great. How long have you been open?
9 months now.
9 months?
So
Things going well?
Feels like 2 years.
Why'd you pick these last 9 months to open?
Who knows? It's worked out for us. Maybe because nobody else was opening.
They say most successful businesses open up during a recession, because if you can get through this, sky's the limit.
We're doing okay for ourselves.
That's good. So you want to encourage people to bike on down here,
Absolutely.
not necessarily drive, right, Leah?
That's right, and they're right on a bike lane. Harrison Street has a bike lane, so come on down.
Well, it's great to have you guys. Thank you for coming out. And
Appreciate it.
Got to tell everyone, shop down in the Mission and eat at Flour and Water.
Yeah.
This is a hot restaurant.
Cool. Great
It's hard to
idea.
get in. You gonna let me in if I try? Only if I bike down, right, Leah?
That's right.
We have to look at the books tonight.
All right. Thank you, Leah Sham, for being here. And we'll be right back with the rest of the update for the week. Well, we're still out here on 20th and Harrison, and I want to thank Leah Sham and the Bike Coalition for all their great work and congratulate them on working so hard to get that bike injunction lifted. And of course, all our friends here at Flour and Water, we thank them for participating and want to again encourage businesses out there that want to get bike racks and want to get support through the Bike Coalition to contact them directly or call 311. I want to just briefly talk about a couple things that, well, I think deserve some attention this week. One is a big one, and that is all the bathrooms in our recreation and park system. I get complaints about this more than anything else about Parks and Rec, and that is the quality of our bathrooms. I want folks to know that 19 bathrooms are going to be completely replaced or remodeled over the next 2 years, and we're going to start construction just in a couple of weeks. We have $7.2 million that we're going to invest in revitalizing those bathrooms. So that's something I hope many of you that have been questioning quality of our bathrooms and are expressing concern, I hope you appreciate. Second big thing is also on March 1st, the nation's biggest green financing program will officially be launched. And I want to thank Supervisor Eric Marr for his great work, Supervisor Bevan Dufty, the entire Board of Supervisors for unanimously supporting this largest in the nation green financing program that does the following. If you want to weatherize your home, if you want to put energy efficiency and work to make sure that you're paying less in utility bills, you can get all of that work done without putting one penny up. We will finance that for you. If you want to do water conservation, if you want to replace that old boiler with a more modern, more efficient boiler, we'll do that for you. Just call 311 and ask about green financing. $150 million is being put up in this program. It's not only the deepest in terms of that subsidy, in terms of the money we are appropriating, but also the breadth of the type of energy efficiency things you can do and the weatherization and other green programs. It includes, by the way, if you want to put an electric charging station in your home in anticipation of all these electric vehicles, you can do it through this green financing. So again, no out-of-pocket costs. We'll put it on your property tax bill. Again, this is for people that own property, amortized over 20 years. The interest is deductible. The interest is very low. And we think this is really going to jumpstart our green economy, create real, sustainable green-collar jobs, and continue our leadership in terms of environmental stewardship. Now, last week, I asked you guys to send some Facebook questions and send some questions on Twitter, and I happen to have a bunch of those questions. Some I can actually talk about publicly, and you know, those of you that asked those questions, I couldn't who you are. But for those that did send in these questions, I want to thank you, and in particular, I want to highlight 3 that I think are representative of a sample of questions we've been receiving. Particularly this week, one of the questions I got from SF Eric, who said, please work to make San Francisco the first community partner on this new Google network. You may have heard that Google is advancing a competition, what they call an RFI, a request for information, about municipalities, communities that want to build out a fiber network, broadband network. You may recall a number of years ago, we were going to do a ubiquitous free Wi-Fi network in San Francisco. Got caught up respectfully in the politics at City Hall, but we haven't given up on our goal and our desire. Well, now Google's come back with a new proposal, and mark my word, we are going to be aggressive to try to source their support. I want to also thank David Chu, the president of the Board of Supervisors, who was in my office last week. We were talking about a similar initiative. Neither of us knew that Google was about to make this announcement, and we'll be working together to see if we can get this thing up and running. Another question came in, this one on Facebook was from Laurel Moslin. Said, is there any way that the Jobs Now program can be made available to adults without children? Unfortunately not. The program that's already provided subsidies for over 1,778 people in our city alone to date is only for employees that have been unemployed that have dependents. And I want to keep reminding you, if you're unemployed and you have someone that either lives with you or is a dependent 18 or younger, please call 311 and learn about how we can provide a subsidy for you to get a job without a wage cap for any employer to take advantage of. And if your employer Or even if you're, for example, the San Francisco Bike Coalition, I was talking to Leah Sham a moment ago, you can take advantage as a nonprofit of hiring people under the Jobs Now program. But unfortunately, you have to have a dependent, and it doesn't extend to people, adults without dependents. And final question, and this is from Radio Patriarch, and I apologize, I got your name wrong, says, well, will you come to my birthday party this year? Well, the answer is a qualified maybe. I just simply need to know a couple things. A, where is your birthday? And second, when is your birthday? If you can extend that, you let me know. We'll see if we can come. And by the way, I don't just do birthdays. You got a wedding, we're available. You got an anniversary, heck, we do those as well. So I thank you for those questions, those sample questions. Please keep sending them in, and I look forward to spending some time somewhere else on the streets of San Francisco this time next week. Take care, everybody.